For the new confirmed cases in Hubei province have maintained at single-digit level for 3 consecutive days. For all the new confirmed cases are all coming from Wuhan city. There's no imported cases in Hubei province, except for Wuhan city. For the other cities in Hubei province, there are no new confirmed cases for 9 consecutive days in Shen, Nongjia, Xianling, Xiantao, Xiangyang, Tianmen, Suizhou, Yichang, Qianjiang, Xiaogan, and Enshi. Altogether, 10 cities have no new confirmed cases for over 14 days. As of March the 13th, 10,485 people are hospitalized, 2,896 in severe condition, 647 in critical condition. As of March the 13th, cumulative deaths reported in Hubei 3,075. On March the 13th, we have 13 new deaths in Hubei province, 10 in Wuhan city, accounting for 77% of the province. As of March the 13th, cumulative discharge cases stand at 52,943. On March the 13th, 1,390 discharged in Hubei province, 1,254 in Wuhan city, accounting for 90% of the province. Start from February the 19th, number of new discharge cases has outnumbered number of new confirmed cases for 24 days. Now let's give the floor to Mr. Liu Dongru to brief us on the epidemic evaluation in Hubei province, and also he will update us on the adjustment of prevention and control measures in communities and villages. Friends from the media, good afternoon. Now I would like to give you an update on the epidemic evaluation in Hubei province, as well as the adjustment of prevention and control measures in communities and the villages in Hubei province. First, for the epidemic evaluation in Hubei province, as of March the 12th, in Hubei province, except for Wuhan city, which is the high-level risks, for the other cities, they all categorized as low, median, and median risks. And we have 12 counties in median risks compared to March the 10th. We have 14 counties have adjusted down to low to median risks. And also we have 5 regions has been adjusted to low risk from high risk. Going forward, we will continue to strengthen our work in epidemic evaluation and strengthen our targeted approach by regions and level of risks, and we will provide a solid foundation to take scientific preventive measures. Second, for the prevention and control measures in communities and villages by regions and level of risks, by considering the actual situation, we have taken differentiated preventive measures in communities and villages. For areas with low risks, we are focusing on preventing the spread of the virus from outside of the city, and in hard-hit regions, we are taking strict measures to follow up on the population in and out of the villages and communities. We are strengthening our monitoring, surveillance, and manage the group of people who are staying in the high-risk areas. And for medium-risk regions, we are also taking strict measures to make sure that the virus will not be spread inside of the city and imported outside. We have taken scientific measures to evaluate the risks in different communities and villages. For the low-level villages and communities, we will remove the lockdown management. For high-risk management areas, we will also take targeted measures to ensure that the close-off management could be effective. For public areas, we will also consider the epidemiology studies so that we can confirm our preventive measures in those areas. We will take targeted approach for the prevention and control. For high-risk areas, we are making sure that the virus will not be spread inside of the city and exported outside. In the high-risk areas, we will continue to ban gatherings and we will take strict traffic control in these areas. So we will roll out a comprehensive screening to all the suspected cases. We will manage all the 4 categories of people. For all the close contacts, we will put them into medical observation and quarantine. For villages where we have a cluster outbreak, we will conduct disinfection, and also we will take restrictive measures for the population. Thank you. Now I would like to give the floor to Mr. Zhu to update on the transportation arrangement to ensure a safe and orderly flow of people. Friends from the media, good afternoon. In order to fully implement the spirit of General Secretary Xi Jinping during his field trip in Wuhan, and implement the important decisions and the deployment from CPC Central Committee and the State Council, and fulfill the needs of the provincial government, we have been staying sober, be determined, and take targeted and differentiated measures.
可控的前提，将严格防和有序放继续进与逐步动的有机结合，先就做好人员安全有序流动，
measures to ensure the safe flow of people. We are also providing a lot of support for the transportation network.
总体的工作原则和要求。
First, I would like to brief you on the general principle.
内防扩散的总体要求。
We are focusing on the principle to prevent the spread of virus inside of the city and export it outside, so that we can ensure the safe and orderly flow of people. We have following several aspects. First, we have taken a level-based approach for different communities and villages. They have to take the responsibility to ensure the safe and orderly flow of people in their jurisdiction. And also, they will be receiving a unified guidance and unified understanding of the Department of Transportation. And also, we have taken a differentiating measures towards different regions at different level of risks. Third, seamless integration and management. We will consider the transportation flow and identify the means of transportation for these people. And also, we will provide a seamless connection of different transportation means so that we can close off the information loop. Second, we need to ensure a safe and orderly flow of the people. We are implementing targeting measures, and also we are offering a green code system and a point-to-point service to people who are in and out of the province, so that we can ensure that we can have a safe and orderly flow of the migrant workers. For people who are living in the low and medium risk regions, if they have a healthy code, they can travel to different districts of the city. If those people they do not have a health code, they need to obtain a health certificate from the local jurisdiction. Second, for cities other than Wuhan City,
采取点对点的方式
If people are receiving a health
有序地
code,
流动。三，
they can travel
Wuhan
at a point-to-point basis.
继续实行
Third,
严格的离汉通道管制措施，
in Wuhan City, we will
严恶
continue
医
to
疗队
implement a strict
国家部
traffic
委
code.
联俄人员，防御重点
So we will
工程
provide
援
support
建人员，
to medical teams who are supporting Hubei or construction teams who are supporting
包括
Hubei.
国外及港澳人员离鄂。
Also, we are providing service
交
for
通运输的管理，
overseas travelers and
总的
people
要求
from
是
Hong
要
Kong
本
and
着
Macau to
高效、
leave Hubei
便
province.
捷、安全、可控的要求，精准实测。
So the aim is that we will
第一
take
是提倡
effective
自驾
and high-level
低中风险地
measures.
区
First, we will
对
encourage
具备驾驶资格且有
transportation
自有
with
车辆的人员
private vehicles.
省内可凭健康码、绿码、自驾
If these
车
people
安全
obtain green
有序
code
通行
or a health code,
小区村主
they can pass through the
防疫
traffic
卡点
control points
查验
in a
自
safely
身人
manner.
员绿码、测温。
And also
正
for
常即
each
可
one
放
of the villages and communities, they have to
无需
check
另
the
行
health
提
code of these
健康
people.
证明
If they do not
流入地
develop any unusual symptoms
接收
for
证明
their
和
temperatures,
车
so
辆
these people
通行证
can
等。
travel at a point-to-point basis.
鼓励点对点包车，
Third, we also
低中
encourage
风险地区
point-to-point
不具
car
备
rental or
驾
car
驶资格
hailing
或
for people who are living
不自有
in
车
a
辆的人
low
员
or medium
以
risks
及规模十
area
足
if they do not
流入地
have
相对
private
集中的人员，
vehicles.
省内可凭健康码、绿码，由
They
用
could
工方
use their green code or health
织
code
方租用有经营资质的社会
and
车辆，
apply for a
提供点
rental
对点
service
一站式包车服
so
务
that，these vehicles
无需
can
另行
offer a
提供
point-to-point
健康
service
证
to
明
these people.
流入地接收证明和车辆通行证等。
And for the car rental
三
drivers, they do not have to offer
有序
any
开
certificates for their health.
公共客运，低中
Third,
风险
we will
地区
resume the public
省内
transportation
客
in
运
an
航
orderly
班、
manner.
旅客列车、客
In
运
low
汽车
to medium risks
以及
regions
城市公交，在采取
for public
必要
transportations
的防控
vehicles
措施的
vessels
前提下，逐步
under the condition
有
of
序恢复。
prevention and
这里呢，
control, we
有
will
3点
resume
需要特别强
the
调。
operation of these means of transportation. I want to
公共
emphasize
交
3
通
points.
有序恢复，由县级指挥部
First is the resumption of the public
四
transportation.
州区域内的公共交通有序恢复，由四州指挥部决定。
And they will receive
跨四州
a unified
公共交
guidance
通
from a
互通恢复。
municipal government.
由其指第10州指挥部协商确定。
And for the
Alright.
intercity transportation,
资深人
as for the
员
resumption
凭
of
健
the
康码
transportation,
绿
will
码
be
乘
decided
车
by a provincial
无需提
level
供
of the
流
transportation
动证明、流
agencies.
入地接收证明和车辆
For
通行
those
证等。
people who could
但
offer
途经高
a
风
green
险地区
code, these
不得
people
上
can
下旅客。
pass those areas.
3. 武汉市
However, if they drive through some of the high-risk regions, they are not allowed to take in more passengers.
旅客列车、客运汽车、客轮以及城市公交继续停运。我的介绍
And for high-risk cities, we still
现在
pose a very
请
strict
开始提
measures
问提问
to
前
limit the
请各位
traffic
通报一下
control in
所
those
在的
areas.
机构
Now it's time for Q&A. Please identify who you
人
are.
民日报记者提问：近日，
From
湖北
People's
宜
Daily,
昌、十堰、荆州等地发布通
Recently,
告，有序
in
恢复市
Yichang,
域县域
Shiyan,
公共交
and
通
other，cities,
包括
they have
出租车、
already
公共
published
客运、
notification on
公
the
交车
resumption
等。
of their
那么请问，
transportation,
在交通运
including
输环
public
节有哪些
transportation
防控措施？
and
谢谢。
land and air transportation. Can you tell us more about the transportation arrangements in
谢
those
谢
regions?
你的提问。
Thank you for
按
your
照
question.
省指挥部关于分区分级、分时分类
At this
沿着
point,
有
we are
序的公共
taking
妇
a
产要求
targeted approach by regions and level of
各地
risks
根据
to
风险等级的实际情况，
resume a safe
陆续
and
发布
orderly
了
flow of
安
the
全有序
transportation.
恢复
We have
公共
already
交通的
issued
一些
many
措施。
documents
为
to
了做好
ensure
交通
safe
运
and
输环节
orderly
的
transportation resumption.
省指挥部已下发了
For the provincial steering group, it has already published a document on transportation arrangements to ensure safe and orderly flow of people, which is the number 141 document. So all the companies have to show their responsibilities in the prevention and control of the work. And also we have identified 5 areas of responsibilities. The first one is the green code transportation. Across Hubei province, all people need to obtain a green code in order to resume their transportation. And for carriers, transportation carriers, need the service staff and the attendants to check the health code of the people who are taking on those vehicles. And if these people are found unusual in their body temperature, they have to be sent to quarantine point for further observation. And also, we have to pay attention to the occupancy rate. So we are making sure that people are sitting in different areas, and also we have to make sure that the occupancy rate should be reduced by 50%. And also we have to separate designated areas for quarantine and observation. For all the transportation means, we have to reserve some room for quarantine and isolation. Fourth, we have to work on disinfection and ventilation of the transportation hub, as well as the transportation vehicles, so that we can ensure that we can provide a sound environment for public transportation. Fifth, we are taking a dynamic management of all the transportation vehicles. We are fulfilling the regulations that has been released by the Department of Transportation to make sure that we could have a safe operation of the transportation. Thank you. Economic Daily. My question is to Mr. Liu. So now the Hubei province has already rolled out a document to adjust the prevention and control measures in communities and villages. What are some of the considerations? As of now, the situation of the epidemic prevention and control in Hubei province is improving. With evaluation, we adjusted some of the levels of risks for different cities and communities. And this will also help to resume the work and production of the society. The adjustment of prevention of control measures in communities and villages also respond to the call of a scientific prevention and control. And every 3 days, we will review the evaluation of different communities and villages. And also, we will take a timely adjustment of the prevention and control measures. On March the 12th, Secretary Ying also told us that we have to take a targeted approach by regions and level of risks. So we also need to take a comprehensive approach to adjust all of those measures. We have to step up our efforts so that we can remove some of the close-off measurement in an orderly manner. By doing all of that, we can resume the work as well as the economic activities of our province. As of now, Wuhan is the only one city in Hubei province with high risk. We will stay committed and continue to take relentless efforts to fight against the COVID-19. As of now, we could see the resumption of work production has been implemented across the nation. I would like to understand what measures has been taken by Hubei province to resume the work and the production. Thank you for your attention to the migrant workers. During President Xi Jinping's visit in Wuhan City, he emphasized that we have to put people's livelihood as our top priority. Safe and orderly flow of migrant workers is very important for us, especially to resume the work and production in the society. For Hubei province, we have over 10 million migrant workers. It is important for us to resume a safe and orderly resumption of work of the migrant workers in Hubei province. At this stage, followed by the instructions and deployment from CPC Central Committee and the State Council, with the leadership of the provincial and municipal government, we have thoroughly analyzed the situation in Hubei province. We will provide a point-to-point service to migrant workers so that we can ensure a safe and orderly flow of this group of people. First, we have to understand the demand of the work resumption for migrant workers. We have established a service platform for migrant workers. We provide more support to the migrant workers to return to their work. We will collect data about the migrant workers, and at the same time, we will provide some guidance to other cities of Hubei province. We're using WeChat, mini apps, and other online platforms to better understand the situation of the migrant workers. So we will understand where these people are going and what are their current physical conditions. Second, by looking into the actual situation, as of now, we are drafting an outline for work resumption for migrant workers. So we will take a targeted approach by regions and level risks to address most of the issues that have been faced by the migrant workers. Third, we will focus on some key enterprises and will encourage an employment system for the migrant workers. We are also establishing a work allocation center and to provide labor support to local key enterprises. We have also offering over 16,000 jobs to the migrant workers. And also we are encouraging some of the non-locals in Hubei province so that these people can find a job in Hubei province. And also we are sending out a lot of recruitment posts on the talent recruitment websites. We have been constantly offering support to the migrant workers. We have already published over 1.5 million job descriptions. And also we are offering over 650,000 jobs on the internet. So we are laying a solid foundation for the resumption of work and production. At the same time, we also encourage the local migrant workers to find a job online so that these people can stay in their hometown and find a job. This online platform has been used in many cities, and it is widely received by the local areas. We're also offering a point-to-point service to the migrant workers. We're also offering charter shuttle bus to bring these migrant workers back to
4周
work.
内务工目的地集中、出行时间相近的农民工，由4周集中
And
组
if
织
these
实施。
migrant workers have a similar travel plans, the municipal government will gather all of this
报4周
information
疫情防控指挥
and
部
they
批准
could
后，
submit
申请
a
捐
shuttle
车
bus
实
application
施点对
to
点直达运
the
输，
Department of
鼓励有
HRSS
条件的企业
so that the
向
Department of
所在地指挥
HRSS
部
can
申
offer
请助
a
力，采取
shuttle
包
bus
车
to
等
bring
方
all
式
of these
直
migrant
达运
workers
输
back
服
to
务，
their work.
也鼓励有条件的农民工自驾
We also
返岗做
encourage
工。
for migrant workers
好，接着提问。
to use their personal vehicle to
你好，
drive
我是
on the
中国
personal
中国新闻社
vehicles
记
and
者
go back to their work.
省疫情防控指挥部日前发布了通告，要求指导企业有序复工。请
And
问
earlier,
湖北如
the
何
steering
按照
group
风
has
险等
already
级分区做
published
好
a
企业复工
document
人员的交通运输保
to
障工作？
encourage the work
谢谢。
resumption and production. I just want to understand the transportation arrangements
好的，
from the
谢谢
Department of
你的
transportation.
关注和提问。
Thank you for your attention
按照
to the
省
transportation
指挥部的
arrangement.
要求，我们要认
Per
真地做
requirements
好
of the
服
steering
务
group,
工作，保障企业有序复
we
工。
have to spare no efforts to provide
我们将在
service
继续实施严格的
and
离
to
汉离
support
鄂
the
通道
work resumption.
管控的措施基础上，开始分区
We will continue to
分
take
级
a strict
做好
travel
省内企业
control
复
in the
工复
Hubei
产
province.
人
At
员
the
的
same
车
time, we
辆
will
出行
take
保障。
targeted approach by regions and
具体
level of
的
risks to ensure a
按照
smooth work
两
and
级来
production
对待。
resumption.
第一呢，
So we will
就是
focus
低
on
中
two
风险地
areas.
区，我们有
First, for
3点
areas
要
with
把握
low and medium risks, we have
一
focused on three
提
areas.
倡
First,
自驾出行，对自预备驾驶
we
资格
encourage
且有
self-driving
车辆的人员，提倡自
for
驾出行。
people who are holding
在
the
省内
driving
可
license.
凭
We
健康码，也
advocate
就
these
是绿
people
码，
to use their
自
own
驾车辆安全
vehicle
有
to
序
go
地
back to work.
小区
But these
村组
people have to obtain a
防御
green
卡点
code before
查
they
验
travel.
施政人员的绿码，
And
车
for
温
the
正常
communities and the
即可
villages,
放
they have to check the green code
二
of these
鼓
people.
励点对
If
点
these
的包
people are
车，
healthy, so
不具备
they
驾
can
驶资格
travel to another
或
point.
无自有车
We
辆的人员，
encourage a point-to-point
以及
service.
规模适中
This
流入
apply
地
to people who does
相当
not
集中
have
的
a driving
人员。
license.
省内可以凭健康码、绿码，由
If
用
these
工方
people
或组织
obtain
方
the green code,
租用有资
they could
质的
seek
社
support
会车辆、运输车辆，
from their employer,
点对
and
点
these people
一站式服务，
can be transported through rental
三
shuttle bus.
有序开通公共客运。
Third,
省内
we will resume the public
客运航班
transportation in an orderly manner.
旅客列车、客运汽车、客轮以及
For the
城市
bus,
公交，
vessels,
在
and
采
the
取
public transportation
必要的
buses,
防护措施的前提下，逐
first of
步
all, we will
有序
take
恢
some
复。
preventive measures and do a
司政人
thorough
员凭健康码
disinfection to those transportation
绿码停
vehicles.
车，无需提
And for
供
passengers, these people can board
流动
on
证
these
明
vehicles with the
流
green
入地
code.
申请审批表和车辆
They
通
do
行
not
证
have to provide additional
但
certificates
经
in order
高
to
风
board
险
on
地区
those
时
transportation
不得
vehicles.
上下。
However, when these vehicles passing
第二，
by the high-risk regions,
武汉市以
they
外
are not
其他
allowed to
高风
take
险
in
地区，
more passengers.
虽然呢，
Third,
今年
for
开始
cities other than
武
Wuhan
汉市
city,
以外
which
都转
remained
入
in high
低
risk.
风险区。但这
However,
可能也是
except
变
for
量，
Wuhan, all the cities in
因
Hubei
此
province
就是武汉市和
have
其他的高风
turned
险
to
区，
low-risk
我们认为要
regions.
把握两
But
点，
we have to keep a close eye
做好
on
运输工
that.
作。
We have
第一
to
个
focus
人
on
员
two
运输
areas for the
要
transportation
持有健
arrangement.
康码、绿码
First
的，
is the
可与省内流
transportation
入
of the
地
people.
采取
We have to make sure
点
that
对
all
点
of
运
these
输方
passengers
式
and people are
安全有
holding
序流动。
a green
由用
code.
工方
We are supporting a
和组织方
point-to-point
租用
transportation.
有资质的社会运输车辆，
We
向流
encourage
出
the
地
employers
县
to rent
市区、
a charter shuttle
县市
bus
区的指挥部申请，
to bring their
包车运
workers
输
back to work.
并申领
These people can make an application to the upper level leadership, and at different control points, all the green codes need to be checked, and all the people need to be checked with their body temperature. Second, for Wuhan City, along with other regions, which may develop into high risks in the future, for all the vessels, public transportation vehicles, and all of these transportation vehicles shall not resume to their operation. As you mentioned about some of the arrangement for the migrant workers, you talk about the chartered coaches or chartered transportation vehicle for migrant workers. How can we make sure that all of those measures can be implemented? In order to ensure a safe and orderly flow of migrant workers, we will offer a series of services to the migrant workers. We also will establish a funding mechanism. So first, we have to make arrangements for these migrant workers before their travel. We have to guide these migrant workers to obtain a green code, which is a health code. If these people can obtain this health code, they could take the public transportation and go back to work. Second, for some of the migrant workers, they may travel at the same time, so we need employer to arrange a chartered vehicle to bring this group of migrant workers back, but we have to constantly check the body temperature of these people, and also we have to ensure that the vehicles could be disinfected in a timely manner, and we have to standardize some of our practice, and we have to attend to the needs of the migrant workers. If we found some difficulties, these people could reach to relevant departments for assistance. Third, the Human Resources and the Social Security Department will work together with the local security and the local transportation department, and they will offer some transportation subsidies to some of the migrant workers. Thank you. Last question, please, with Hubei Daily. My question is to Mr. Liu. After we adjust the prevention and control measures, if we found more cluster outbreak of the epidemic, what further measures will be taken by the local government? After we adjust the prevention and control measures in communities and villages, there may be some new changes in the situation. We have to consolidate the current achievement and continue to take targeted approach by regions and by level of risk. We have to take a comprehensive consideration of all factors. So we will continue to move ahead the window of opportunities and to make a thorough arrangement, so that we can make sure that all of those problems and challenges can be resolved at an earlier date. Of course, at this time, we will continue to strengthen our efforts in the prevention and control measures, but we will stay alert to the development of the epidemic situation. We will maintain at a high level of our control practice and to make sure that all of the measures can be implemented. Second, if we found individual cases with COVID-19 infection, we will put these people under quarantine to make sure that these people will not cause large-scale spread of the virus. When necessary, we will continue to adjust the level of risk for certain communities and villages, making sure that we can implement the 4 early measures In this way, we can curb the spread of the virus. Third, we will take decisive measures to handle the cluster outbreak of the epidemic. If we found some clustered epidemic, we will adjust the level of risks for those communities and villages, and we will recover the prevention and control measures in those areas. We will make sure that the virus will not be spread further. Thank you. Thank you again for all the journalists and the speakers. That's the end of the press conference. Thank you.